Cool, no worries, Danae. Thank you for letting us know. How's everyone doing? Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, good. I like Amber's dance. And yeah, just there's a note in the corner, but just so you guys know, we are going to record this for our website. So you do not have to leave your cameras on. I think it mostly just captures the shared screen anyway, but yeah, if you want to just put in the chat, like your introduction or anything, totally fine, no worries. Totally up to you. I want to get rid of that bar at the bottom. There we go. Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and get started, and it's a little bit of a slow intro, so if people filter in, totally fine. But thank you guys again for being here. Really appreciate everyone taking the time. My name is Lauren Thompson. I'm the current president of Women in STEM. We'll do introductions. But yeah, just so you know, I just mentioned this, but we are recording. So feel free to do whatever you want in terms of your camera and your mic and chatting. And then in terms of our website, if you want to find any more information like our social media, a list of our current officer board, etc., you can scan that QR code, and we could also put the link in the chat later. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. So just to get us started, I think it's always fun to introduce ourselves instead of just kind of being boxes on a screen. So I'll go first and then we can just kind of take turns. Like I said, I'm Lauren Thompson. I'm the current president, and I am planning on staying on the officer board, but not in the president position. I'm a rising 5th year and I'm getting my PhD in pharmaceutical sciences. So if someone else wants to go next, we can all just introduce ourselves. And if you're not currently on the officer board, you can either like let us know what you're kind of interested in if you know, and if not, you know, you can totally just skip that question, not a problem. But
I can go next.
awesome.
I'm Catherine. I'm the secretary currently. I am a rising 4th year in the molecular biology program. Yeah, happy to answer questions if you have them.
Awesome, thank you.
I'll go next. I'm Amber. I'm in lab with Catherine and Libby, who's on here too in the Mukherjee lab. I'm the treasurer for Women in STEM. I've been in Women in STEM for quite some time, I think since 2018 now. And yeah, so I'm staff. So we're also open to staff. It's not just students. So.
I'm also Amber. I'm a rising 2nd year in the pharmacology program, and my position is a co-coordinator for the high school mentorship program.
Yes, I can go next. My name's Danae. I am the other co-coordinator for our high school mentorship program, and I am a PRA / post-bac scholar here on campus.
Hi, I'm Jen Dulett. I'm also part of the mentorship program, but I'm mentor-mentee relations officer. And I just graduated, yay. So from bioengineering. So yeah, I'll be leaving in August.
We're excited for you, but we're sad to lose you.
Yeah.
I can go. I'm Milana. I'm a rising 2nd year in the molecular biology program. I'm not currently on the board at all, but I'm potentially interested in the secretary or like mentorship program related positions.
Awesome.
And I'm Libby. I'm a PRA in the Mukherjee lab. I'm not on the board at all, but I'm here interested to see if it's something I'd like to try.
Awesome. Really happy to have you guys. And then is that also your phone or is that someone else?
That's my phone. My headphones don't connect to my
No
computer.
worries at all. I do that all the time when my
Have to do
Wi-Fi's
both.
bad. No problem. Cool. Just want to make sure we weren't skipping someone. But awesome. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. We might have some more people join. We'll see. I know Carly, who is probably going to be our incoming president, unless someone else is interested, could not be here. She's at a conference winning lots of awards. So we're very happy for her. But so yeah, so just briefly, I'm sure you guys already know this, but Women in STEM is a group here on campus. STEM standing for science, technology, engineering, and math. We were founded in 2015 here at the University of Colorado Anschutz, and we are a traditionally student-run organization, but like Amber mentioned, you do not have to be a student to be on our officer board or to be a member. You know, as long as we're like 51% students on the officer board, we're fine. So, you know, definitely open to all positions on campus, but we are funded by the Office of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Community Engagement. And they are sort of the umbrella that we fall under, and our faculty mentor is in charge of that office. So they're great, really great to work with. Our mission in general is to substantially increase the representation and support of women in STEM disciplines through advocacy, education, community outreach, skill building, and fostering allies among our peers, both specifically here on campus and in the larger community. And so that kind of leads into our goals, which are to cultivate discussion and awareness about issues related to women in STEM fields, promote mentorship and fellowship opportunities between students, staff, and faculty. And that also kind of goes out into the greater community. We often work with like industry mentors, things like that. And then finally, providing and promoting opportunities for career development and advancement for students and trainees. So in addition to that, we do a lot of outreach as a group. So, you know, in addition to our role on campus, we promote STEM education for youth who are not traditionally encouraged to enter jobs in STEM fields, i.e. girls, minorities, and low-income students. And so we like to be a source of community education on STEM issues for these groups. And so some different events that we do towards that goal, I think it's actually the next slide, so I'll skip ahead and then go back. But so some outreach events that we do in the community include an annual Girl Scouts STEM Day, where in the past we've brought Girl Scouts to campus, done hands-on experiments. We've also done like Zoom-led Meet a Scientist kind of events. We have an annual high school mentorship program that I believe Danae and Amber Truitt, not Amber Baldwin, we're in charge of this past year, where we work with St. Mary's Academy, and it's a really great program that, you know, gets our students giving back to the community, working with high school students. Like I said, we sometimes will bring students on campus for hands-on experiments. We've had like a winter science day and brought high schoolers onto campus. We'll help and judge and volunteer at science fairs, educating students about options, different STEM careers, so from like grad school to med school, etc. Providing mentorship and shadowing opportunities to students. And then we're also really happy to collaborate with lots of different programs on campus, such as Think Like a Scientist, Young Hands in Science, and then there's a EU Pre-Health Undergrad Scholars Program that we typically lead a session for every year. So lots of different opportunities, whether you're on the board and want to help plan these, or if you're just a member and want to participate. We always have something going on. And so to go back to our general events, we typically host 1 to 3 events per month during the school year. And like we mentioned, you know, the typical goal is to engage both our campus and the bigger community, typically through like those outreach events. Some of our events, you guys might have been at our symposium last month, where we were on campus, had a really great time, lots of awesome speakers, panels, and workshops. We were able to finally serve lunch to everyone. So we like to do that annually, have a big symposium. But in addition to that, we've previously held lunch hour discussions, again, where we'll serve lunch, feature like a speaker or some kind of theme, maybe like a CV building workshop, something like that. We've previously hosted panel discussions, workshops, like I mentioned, networking events. We've done lots of crafting and like baking, decorating kind of events that are always really fun and usually have some kind of networking built in, but it's kind of for fun. And then some workout and yoga series that we've done in the past that, again, great for community building. We've also hosted town halls with lawmakers as sort of a larger community event. And finally, like I previously mentioned, these community educational outreach events. So lots of really cool things going on. And then, as some of our officers mentioned, we do have this mentorship program. Our third cohort, I think, is finished up or is finishing up. And typically this runs for like a school year, and the mentor-mentee pairs meet once a month. The mentorship committee matches them up based on what they're looking for. So like if you're a first-year grad student and you want like a fifth-year grad student as a mentor, we can make that happen. If you're fourth-year grad student and maybe you want like an industry mentor, we can make that happen. You know, they're really good at kind of finding really good, meaningful pairs that you can really benefit from over the year. And so that will start again sort of end of summer, beginning of fall of this year as the school year is starting. Like I said, you know, those program goals are to really facilitate the mentoring relationships on Anschu's campus and beyond, create a mentorship community on our campus where, you know, we feel like we have maybe more than just our PI as our mentors. We can really expand that network. And also they'll host peer mentorship events where, you know, they might discuss mentorship goals or, you know, building, I'm losing my words, but you get what I mean, different techniques and, you know, conversations that are important to have, in addition to just kind of facilitating that networking between everyone in the program. So yeah, really cool program, and we're excited that we're going to have our fourth cohort starting this year. So now what we're all here for is talking about these officer board elections. We are always looking for more people to join our officer board. It's a really great community. We personally, like I joined right at the beginning of COVID, I think, and it's just been really meaningful to have a group of people that I get to see twice a month consistently, whether it's on Zoom or in person. So it's a really great community, and if you have any ideas, really supportive of helping you make those ideas happen. And so the general expectations, if you are an officer for women in STEM, are to attend the officer meetings, which happen every 2 weeks. Typically during the school year, we kind of take a break in the summer. And then also to attend as many women in STEM events as possible. Like we said, we typically have 1 to 3 a month. We do not expect all officers to be able to attend everything, but again, we just ask that you do your best effort to attend whenever possible. We also ask that each officer plans and leads at least one event during the year, so it doesn't fall 1 or 2 people to plan, you know, 12 plus events. That way it just really makes it a fair, equal distribution. And you're also more than welcome to work with someone else. Like if you have an idea and you bring it up at an officer meeting, it's really likely someone else is going to say, oh, I love that, you know, I'd love to help you plan that. And so it's not, you know, it's not a ton of work to set up these events. Definitely doable to do 1 a year with help. And then also, like it says, help organize other people's events, so jumping on, kind of providing that backup support, like the symposium. We had like a team of 5 as kind of the main planners, 1 leader, which was Carly, and then lots of people actually helping like on the ground the day of. So, you know, things like that, we just kind of expect you to help whenever possible. And then finally, helping represent women in STEM at tabling events. We have like the student organization party or fair, excuse me, coming up in September, and then the campus block party usually happens sometime, and like we had Juneteenth that we tabled at. So just things like that, we'll usually ask a couple officers to table, and again, it's just like an hour. It's really fun. You get to talk to lots of people, sign them up, and talk about the group. So usually lots of fun. You get candy, but yeah, again, it's just kind of helping out the group. So in general, the time commitment is about 3 hours a month for those, you know, women in STEM officer meetings, plus attending an event or 2 each month. And of course, that can go up and down based on if you're leading an event 1 month, and then maybe the next month you don't go to any events. So it will fluctuate a little bit, but we're always happy to support if you get overwhelmed or something like that. All right, so now I think we're gonna just go through the officer positions, and if people are here, you know, I'll let them talk about their own position. If they're not, we can just kind of all chime in. And there is the opportunity, I have this on another slide, that, you know, if you are really excited about something that you don't see on here, you can, you know, just bring that up, say, oh, I wanted to do a parent in STEM coordinator position, I don't see that. That's totally fine. You know, we're always looking to adjust, you know, make things happen. For example, like Evan's position, the allyship coordinator, was his idea, and we created that, and it's been a really helpful, great position. So, you know, nothing is impossible, I guess, is my message. But briefly, again, I'm Lauren, I'm the current president. President duties are pretty much what you would expect: leading the meetings, coming up with the agendas for the meeting, sending reminders, and then really just kind of facilitating and making sure everyone else is on track. Typically for president, it is someone that has served on the board previously. But again, you know, we're happy to talk to anyone. Vice president, you would not need to have previously served. But yeah, if there's any questions, I can answer them. It's kind of straightforward. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and move on to vice president, pretty much supporting the president if they're not able to make it to a meeting, filling that role. And then again, all those same responsibilities of leading an event, etc. Catherine, do you want to briefly share the secretary's responsibilities?
Yeah, so secretary, you come to meetings, I kind of help when we're in person, set up the tech, I take meeting notes, I will help with polls if they need to be set out. And then the other thing, I try to monitor the email account we have, and I help add people to the listserv and manage that a little bit.
Awesome. And then Amber, do you want to talk about treasurer?
Sure. So I manage money things. So a lot of that is like coordinating how much money we have in our budget with the OIO, and making sure that, you know, we can get the things we need as far as like food or items for like science classes that we may be doing. So I keep track of the budget and make sure people get reimbursed or like have things ordered through the OIO. I also do inventory and like tracking of our swag that we have. That's pretty much it.
Awesome, thank you. And I don't think our next four are here. Like I said, Carly's at a conference. But so briefly, the campus outreach coordinator and educational outreach coordinator. The educational outreach coordinator is the easier one to explain, so I'll start with that. That's really being in charge of facilitating those community outreach events, working with things like a scientist, Young Hands in Science, to collaborate, put on those events, working with those kinds of things. And also in the past, things like the Winter Science Day, really just that kind of community education outreach. Carly is in this campus outreach coordinator position, which is similar, but is more focused on working with other groups on campus. So for example, she's worked with like SACNIS, she's worked with like the disability office, the LGBTQ plus hub. So really just trying to kind of get our reach on campus wider, work with lots of different groups. So that's been a newer position that we added, but it's been really great, and really kind of led to the symposium this year and all the different groups that we had talked. So really great position if anyone's interested in that. Moving on, like I mentioned, Evan's allyship coordinator role, kind of similar to Carly's, but really facilitating that ally role. As you might know, Evan is identifies as male, and so Evan is, I think, our first male officer that we've had. So it's been really great to kind of have a different perspective, how we can really expand women in STEM's reach, and, you know, make it clear that we are not just open to women. You know, we are stronger with more people from our campus involved, you know, not just people that identify as women. So really great position if anyone's interested in that. Then we have our social media and marketing, which is Claire. That is pretty straightforward, you know, taking care of the Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook and LinkedIn. I think that's what we have. And also, like, she helps make a lot of the flyers. She helps with printing posters to hang up, obviously posting the flyers on social media. So yeah, that's what that role looks like. So I guess I'll pause here. Are there any questions about these roles before I move on to the rest? Cool. Okay, pretty straightforward. All right, so now we have our mentorship committee, which, like we said, they're in charge of the mentorship program. I don't think we have Meg or Allison here, but just briefly, you know, the lead is in charge of the mentorship program, and then Allison was previously the lead of the program. I think she's the founder of the program, and Meg was kind of her co-lead last year. This year, Allison took on more of an advisor position, and Meg took over. So really, you know, that director or lead position could be filled by one or two people. But yeah, that's pretty much what that looks like, being in charge of the mentorship committee, leading their meetings, kind of making sure everything's on track. And then Jen, do you want to talk about your position?
Yeah, so I'm the mentor-mentee relations officer. So basically, I coordinate the pairs, the mentor and the mentees, and then I also send out surveys throughout the year. We also had a book club, and I helped with that. And then, like, any problems that the mentor pairs had, I helped with that as well.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, very cool. And then Danae and Amber, if one or both of you want to go ahead and talk about the high school program.
Yeah, I can give you a little explanation. So like Lauren said, it's with the St. Mary's Academy, which is the all-girls high school that we coordinate with. And so we organize once a month meetings during the school year and kind of try to give the students ideas of what a career in science could look like, different opportunities, and the research process in general. Yeah, so it's been virtual these past 2 years, and so we're not sure if that may change, if we can do some in-person events, but overall we typically have about 20 or so high schoolers that participate, and then of course we're open to a bunch of other volunteers within Women in STEM that can help mentor our meetings.
Awesome. And then Danae, anything you want to add?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Yeah, really cool program that we've had for 2 years now, right? Yeah, so really excited to keep that going. And then I don't think we have Crystal. So again, mentorship secretary, pretty much the same thing as the secretary that Catherine talked about, but for the mentorship program, you know, kind of keeping track of people's meetings. We typically ask our mentor-mentee pairs to let us know when they have their meetings. So I believe Crystal tracks all of that. And then additionally taking notes at any mentorship committee meetings. And then that mentorship event coordinator that Emily's in, that is about sort of coordinating the events for the mentorship program. If they have, I know we had a pizza party at the end of the year. Usually there's a kickoff event, like a welcome picnic or something. So really just kind of being in charge of getting those events planned. And again, it's kind of a team effort, but we like to have as many positions as we can because the more help, the better. And then finally, to wrap up, we also have Girl Scout STEM Day, which I talked about briefly. We typically have a team of co-leads on that. That includes myself, Danae, and Reagan right now. So if you're interested in kind of helping with that, we're always looking for more people. I'm really hoping we can get in person this year, but we'll kind of see what the school rules are. And then finally, we have the webmasters, which are myself and Catherine. So some of these positions are obviously not as big as others, and you can double up. For example, webmaster, you're really just, you do a quick training, get access to the website, and then you can make edits. You know, I make sure the events are posted on there. We make sure update the calendar, things like that. Not a really big job, and it's kind of fun, and it is a skill that you can put on like your CV, that you know, have Sitefinity training and know how to make a website. So kind of a cool opportunity, and like you can do that plus another position if you're interested. But yeah, I'll pause again and ask if there are any questions about any of these other positions. Cool. And so I do just want to quickly say thank you very much to everyone that has served on the officer board this past year. It's been an awesome year in spite of COVID and all the craziness. I'm really excited we were able to have an in-person symposium with food and everything. And I know how much work went into that. So thank you everyone for this really awesome year. We had a lot of great events. I know I personally got a lot of feedback both at the symposium and at other events that like this group really does a lot of great work on our campus, and people really appreciate that. And you know, we do see the hard work that you guys are doing. So thank you everyone, really, really appreciative of it. And we hope if you aren't on the officer board next year, you'll at least stick around as a member and come to our events and everything. Cool. And so just like I mentioned before, you know, we are open to new officer positions. We're always looking to expand, you know, find new ways to bring people into the group. So for example, like a parent and STEM coordinator or a postdoc liaison, I think we've had these positions in the past, but they kind of ebb and flow based on if someone's interested in it that year. And so if you have any other position ideas, you can feel free to let us know. There's also a spot on the application that you can write in if you have any ideas. But again, I'll pause for a second. And if anyone has any ideas, feel free to share, you know, if you want to chat about it. All right, cool. But yeah, if anything comes up, you know, feel free to email, put it in your application, anything like that. And then finally, this link is in the application, but I wanted to put a QR code on here. So if you want like those full descriptions and responsibilities for each of the positions, you can get it from this link. And again, that's also linked on the application if this doesn't work for you. Cool. All right, and then like I'm sure you've seen in the emails, the applications are due July 8th. If you've already submitted an application and you want to change anything on it, your rankings, your answers, anything like that, feel free to email the Women in STEM email and you can change whatever you want. I don't know if the Google form's editable or not once it's submitted, but if you have any issues, email us and we're happy to do that. And then we will have our elections 2 weeks from today, same time, same Zoom link. And again, if you submitted an application, we'll make sure you get the Zoom link. But yeah, that'll be July 14th at 11 a.m. In the past, we typically don't have to actually hold elections if we can figure it out with ranking. And, you know, if we only have a number one for each position, it's pretty easy. Everyone just gets their first choice. So it might be more of a discussion than an election, but we'll kind of see what happens if, you know, 3 people do sign up for VP, that, you know, we might end up with a couple contested positions, but we'll see. All right, and then finally, if you're not on our email list, I think everyone is, but if you're not, feel free to email us. If you have any questions, feel free to email. It's usually Catherine or I monitoring it, so we get back relatively quickly. And so yeah, if you want to know about any upcoming events, getting on our email list is the best way. I also have our social media here. If you don't follow any of it, you can also find all of this on our website. And then, yeah, thank you all very much for attending. I'm happy to take any questions, or if anyone has any ideas that they're really excited about, happy to discuss those, write them down, anything like that. But thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, yeah, no questions. Thank you guys. I hope you all have a great day. And I will figure out how to stop recording. There we go.